Hi guys, welcome back to my happy kitchen, to my happy oven. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are making a very nice vanilla cake, the best vanilla cake you'll ever make. Okay, that will keep your clients coming back for more and more. Okay, so I'm going to be mentioning the tips and tricks as we keep going, but just keep watching, guys. So here I had sugar, I had margarine, and I had a little bit of oil. So first tip, always make sure you add an amount of oil, even if your recipe does not require any oil. Always make sure you add some cooking oil there. Okay, so go ahead and start mixing. And if you can, if it's possible, start mixing the margarine first for 5 minutes, then now add the sugar and the oil. I was in a hurry, but this one also works as well. So keep mixing on medium high speed, number 3, until it's light and fluffy. So here's the trick. This is where it depends if you get a moist and fluffy cake with no air holes. This mixing of the sugar and the margarine, guys. Okay, you have to mix for a very long time until you don't see any sugar granules. Even if you're using a hand mixer, please just mix. So this was the first 10 minutes. I stopped, you scrape, and then you check. Of course it's not ready, and put it back. So when it's still mixing, go ahead and sieve your flour, your baking powder, and salt. So there's 2 methods of making vanilla cake. There's the reverse method baking, and there's this normal one, the creaming method. So sometimes it depends. I use both, but it depends. Okay, the reverse method is another good one as well. It gives a very moist cake. So this was after 20 minutes of mixing, guys. A whole 20 minutes. It's supposed to be that long. Okay, so if you want to know if it's ready, when you pick it up with your spatula and you turn it down like this, it's not falling. Haifai kuanguka. Okay, that is how you know your mixture is ready, guys. Continue scraping at the bottle and at the bottom, and if you can mix for another 5 minutes, kindly do so. This is where you get a perfect cake. A hand mixer can do the job as well. Mix kabisa adi it's fluffy, doubles in size, and it has become pale white, almost white, guys. Okay, so now put your paddle back on, and also on medium high speed, start adding your eggs one by one. Another tip is to always soak your eggs for 5 minutes before you use them in just room temperature water, guys. Just soak them. Okay, it's going to help you in getting a very fluffy cake. So add your eggs one by one as usual, and then towards the end add your vanilla essence. Okay, I use 2 tablespoons of vanilla essence. Don't worry, I'm going to list all the quantities of the ingredients in the description box. So this is how your mixture is supposed to look like at this point, guys. So silky. Can you just look at that? As it's so silky, you feel like eating it already. It's not supposed to look like it has vinegar or lemon. You know, sometimes the butter can look like imekatika like it has lemon. No, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be this silky. This is your now first step into getting the perfect vanilla cake. Vanilla cake is just vanilla cake, guys, but it's the method of preparation that differentiates your cake to the other cake. Sometimes you can get a dense cake. Sometimes unapata when you cut in the middle, it has air holes, air tunnels. Not a good look. It's supposed to be a full-on fluffy cake with no air holes. Okay, so now start adding your flour and your milk in batches. I add mine in 4 batches, and always start with this is another tip. Always start with the flour and end with the flour, guys. Do not end with the milk. Okay, so start with your flour and end with your flour as you keep mixing in batches. Pole too, just in number 1 speed. Even if there's slow motion, use slow motion. So as you keep doing that, remember, this is warm milk. Sometimes you can be asked to use room temperature, whichever works for you. But personally, I use warm milk. And sometimes when I use the reverse baking method, sometimes I even use hot milk. So I'm going to share the reverse baking method in another video. It's also another perfect way of making the vanilla cake. But in the meantime, you can Google. But I have my own recipe. That sometimes when I have the time, I just sit down and I use the reverse method. It gives the best results too. Even though the reverse baking method, the cakes don't fura as much, they don't double in size as much, but the texture is out of this world. So I have different clients. Some of them like this one, some of them prefer the reverse method because they've tested both. So keep on mixing your flour and your milk I use warm milk. If you want, kindly use just room temperature water, but warm milk gives the best results. And also, I also have a hot milk recipe. You can also use that, okay, where you add the margarine and vanilla to the hot milk and then you pour. Perfect. Okay? So those are three ways you can use warm milk: warm, hot, or just room temperature. Okay. So here it is, we are done, and this is how your butter is supposed to look like, guys. Not too heavy, not too light, just the right consistency. Okay, and it looks beautiful. Katika as if it has lemon. Pour it into your baking pans, baking tins. Tap it on the counter just a little bit, just to remove any air bubbles that may be present, but trust me, they aren't. And bake for 1 hour at 160 degrees. That is how I bake mine for a long time. And always make sure you add water in the oven. Always make sure there's a tray of water in the oven when you're baking. It helps moisten the cake. Usieke tu hivyo. Make sure there's another tray with hot water inside, okay? And bake for a very long time. And this is how it's supposed to look like, guys. Amazing on the inside as amazing on the outside, okay? Perfect color. No, just look. Is there any one air hole you see? Those things can embarrass you, I'm telling you. Is there my client anakata keki hivi anapatana na mashimo? For what purpose? Use this method. I'm going to share the other second method in a few days or weeks, but thank you for watching. Try it.